What's up, everybody? So, something I've been thinking about lately, since we covered the Queen of the Ring lawsuit with AEW, women's wrestling in the United States. It's an interesting topic, and I want to do a deeper dive topic on this, but let's do a little short rundown, shall we? So, women's wrestling in the United States goes back to Mildred Burke really being the first NWA women's champion. We've had Mae Young and Fabulous Moolah, as well as four her contemporaries. Now, if you grew up watching old school professional, at least old school in the 1980s and 90s, you did not see a lot of women wrestlers, did you? You did not see a lot of women's matches. You had women like Alundra Blaze and Bull Nakano and Aja and a title, Rockin' Robin, but it was not taken seriously. This is a theme in the United States when it comes to women's wrestling I would say, 2005. And the reason for that, I think, is because there was heavy control on women's wrestling by Fabulous Moolah. There's a dark side of the ring where they talk about the legacy of Fabulous Moolah and some possible accusations about her handling of women's talent. But one thing that we know for sure is she controlled 90% or more of the women who wrestled in the United States. She controlled the contracts, the negotiations, and took a hefty fee for doing so. Wendy Richter talks about how she was giving Moolah significant portions of her WWF checks even when she was the champion, and how when she was trying to negotiate a new contract to make, bigger money because she was the women's division champion, she felt that she should be closer to on par with Hogan. They used Moolah to pretty much blackball her from the industry. And this is a very common statement that I've heard from other women's wrestlers of the era. Now, in recent history, starting in 2005, you had Shimmer, which was an all-women's promotion in the United States that took women's wrestling significantly more serious. You had the Knockouts division, the first major company, TNA's women's division, that actually promoted women's wrestling. WWE had their women's revolution about a decade ago, where we transitioned from the Divas era to the modern women's division, and AEW has a significant and strong women's division now. You can also see it in NWA, and you can see it in other companies. Women's divisions are strong. But there was a time that wasn't the case.